Everyday English listening.
Topic 1. Tomboy.
Okay, so Rebecca, we just talked about kids and technology. And you asked me about whether or not I should give a cell phone to my son.
Yeah.
Now I would like you to give me a little bit of advice for my daughter. I have a daughter, and she's only 7 months old. But I'm worried about when she's older, when she gets a boyfriend, and when she has her first date, and when she will start wearing makeup. So, could you kind of give me some advice about this?
Oh, well, I think maybe I had a bit of an unusual experience. My mom actually made me wear makeup.
Really?
When I got into high school. It was like, in middle school, I was the kid with, braces and glasses, stuck in a book, and my mom was like, "You can't do that in high school, you'll never meet anyone."
Wow.
So she took away my glasses and made me get contacts, and I couldn't do anything about the braces, but as long as you cover your mouth or do something weird when you smile.
Wow, that sounds quite the opposite to many of my friends. Like they all wanted to wear makeup, and their parents wouldn't let them.
No, I was a tomboy. My mom was actually kind of worried. Like, she was like, "Do you have any interest at all in girly things?" I was like, "No, I don't like shoes, I don't like clothes, I don't need a purse. I'll just go climb a tree."
So do you think it's important as a parent to steer your children, to kind of sculpt them and make them into more rounded people, or do you think you should just let them go?
At the time, I think I actually resented my mom for it. Because, she waxed my eyebrows.
Really? Wow.
My mom removed my eyebrows. She sat me down and was like, "You have a unibrow, that is not acceptable." And she pinned me down and ripped them out, and I screamed, and I hated her for weeks.
Oh, wow. How old were you when she did that?
Oh, God, it was the end of middle school sometime. But middle school, high school, somewhere in that area.
So like 15?
15-ish, yeah. And I didn't shave either. My mom actually shaved my legs the first time. She's like, "You need to shave this now." I was like...
Topic 2. Ginger snacks.
Actually, I remember that one time you had a party and you made that really nice pumpkin dip.
Oh yeah, that's a popular one. Everyone loves that when I make it.
What do you need for it?
It's really easy. All you need is 1 can of canned pumpkin, 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese, powdered sugar, and a few spices.
Is it easy to make?
It is. You just let the cream cheese melt a little, and then you blend it together with the pumpkin and the powdered sugar, and then after you get that really smooth and creamy, then you put in the nutmeg, ginger, and cinnamon.
Wow, it sounds yummy.
It is. It's great. And then I usually put a few cinnamon sticks in for appearance, and then serve it with ginger snaps and with green apples cut into slices. It's good with both of those.
Cool, I'm going to try that sometime. What else can you make?
Well, like I said, I'm not much of a cook, so I don't cook much. I put things together. I have a blender and I do a lot of smoothies. I love making smoothies. Yeah, I buy the fruit and then keep the fruit in the freezer. That's the trick. You've got to freeze the fruit. And then you don't need ice, so it doesn't taste watered down. So you take the frozen fruit, put it in the blender, and then you just mix it with yogurt or fruit juice, and it's delicious.
What kind of fruit do you like to use?
Well, my favorite is just really simple. It's just frozen strawberries, frozen banana, orange juice, and a little honey if you want, but you don't even need the honey. And then I have another I like with mango and papaya and pineapple and yogurt.
Well, between your smoothie and pumpkin dip and my eggplant curry, we can throw quite a party.
Let's do it. We'll do it on your rooftop with your cats.
Sounds like a good idea.
Topic 3. Eggplant curry.
So, Nabil, I really like that eggplant curry you made the other night. What's in that?
Oh, you did? Okay. It's actually really easy. There's eggplant, and you need some potatoes, some tomatoes, and onions, and a few spices.
Okay, what spices?
Well, I use about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and a teaspoon of coriander powder, red chili, and cumin.
Are those easy to find at any grocery store?
You can find them at most grocery stores nowadays. If you can't find them at the major ones, then you might want to look for an international food store, and all of those carry the Indian spices.
Okay. I have a really small kitchen. What kind of equipment do you need to make it?
Oh, nothing at all. You just need a stove and you need a saucepan.
Okay, I can handle that. So how do I make it?
Well, first of all, you heat some oil in the saucepan. And when the oil is hot enough, then you add the chopped onions and a tablespoon of garlic paste and a tablespoon of ginger paste.
Okay.
And you let those cook for a few minutes until the onions are turned brown. Then after that, you add the tomatoes and let those cook for a bit until the tomatoes have gone soft. And then you add all the spices, the turmeric, the red chili, the coriander, the cumin, and the salt, of course. And just mix it up well at that point and add some water.
Okay.
The water prevents the spices from burning. After that, add the potatoes and then add the eggplant. And then pour in about a glass of water just to make sure that the potatoes and the eggplant are covered. And then you turn it to low heat and put the lid on and let it cook for about 15 minutes.
Okay, I'm not much of a cook, but I think I can do that. I'll give it a try.
Well, good luck.
Thanks. Maybe I'll have you over and let you try it.
Yeah, I'd love that.
All right.
Topic 4. Nabil's place.
So what about you? You're still in the same place, right?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Good. How's it going?
Oh, it's great. I'm actually quite satisfied with it now.
Oh, good, because I thought you wanted to move at one point.
Yeah, I thought about it for a while, but then I decided to stay there. There's a lot of good points there. It's a quiet neighborhood. It's not too far from the train, so I can get to work easily. For a while I thought it might be a little too expensive, just slightly above my budget, but I've gotten used to it, and my cats love it. They're really comfortable there, so I think I'm going to stay.
Oh, great. I love your cats. Do they have a lot of room to roam around?
They have enough room. Of course, they were better off in the house.
Right.
I was living there last year, but they've adapted pretty well. So there's a roof there, I can take them up and they run around. There's plenty of places for them to hide.
And what about your neighbors? Are you still living near Matt and
Matt and
Laura?
Laura, yeah.
Right.
Actually, it's really funny. They'd been there for about 4 months, and last weekend they invited some people over, about 5 or 6 of their colleagues, and they had a little party. I think they played poker and had lots of booze around. But unfortunately, the neighbors complained to the landlord, and the landlords were just really angry.
Oh, no.
So they sent them this really harsh email, and they said that they wanted them out by the end of the week. So, yeah, Matt and Laura have been kicked out of the building.
You are kidding.
No.
Wow, and just 5 people over.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 people, but apparently it was loud enough. I think it's because the neighborhood is kind of family-oriented, so people aren't used to loud parties.
Oh, right. Maybe the voices carry a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of echo in the building, actually, for some reason. So,
well, that's too bad for them. Where did they move?
they just moved down the street to another apartment building. It's smaller, so I don't think they're happy about it, but oh well.
Well, tell them I said hey when you see them.
I will, yeah.
Topic 5. Ginger's place.
So, Ginger, I hear you have a new apartment.
Yes, it's great. I just moved in last week.
Nice, where is it?
It's near Victory Monument. Do you know where that is?
Yeah, I do. How do you get to work from there?
Well, I take the SkyTrain.
Oh, that's really convenient.
It is. It's just a 5-minute walk.
Okay. And what's the neighborhood like?
It's a crowded neighborhood. There are a lot of people, lots of cars, just lots of energy in general.
And is it conveniently located?
It's very convenient. It's about a 5-minute walk to the SkyTrain station.
Okay. Why did you decide to move?
Well, it's near a park, and I love living near a park. And it's also just a 5-minute walk to my gym.
And have you made any new friends in that neighborhood?
I have. I've met a couple of people in my apartment building, and I've gotten to know the person who owns a restaurant across the street. There's some great restaurants on the street also.
Oh, what kind of restaurants?
Well, mostly Thai restaurants. A lot of Thai people live in the area. But there's also a Western restaurant and a Japanese.
And is it a safe neighborhood?
I feel very safe there.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that there's some thefts on some of the quiet streets where the motorbikes will ride by and snatch your bag off your shoulder. But I've never actually seen it myself, and I feel very safe sleeping there.
And what about traffic?
There is a lot of traffic.
Oh, no.
Yes, the traffic, and a lot of street traffic too. Lots of people walking on the street, so it can be tough to get around. But there's still a lot of excitement in the area, so it's fun to be out and people watch.
It doesn't sound like a quiet neighborhood.
No, it's not quiet at all, unless you go into the park, and then it's very quiet.
How often do you go to the park?
Almost every night. Every night after work, I'll take a walk in the park, and there's a pond with a water display with music, so it can be very soothing.
Topic 6. Sports divided.
Shirley, one question, please. I'm a bit confused now. One thing, when about sports, sometimes I can see UK play something with a team. Sometimes you're all divided. Why is that?
So we are essentially still 4 countries, 4 separate countries in a united kingdom. So, basically each country just wanted to keep their national team. In the case of the Olympics, for some reason, and I'm not sure of the exact reason, but the Olympics committee didn't want 4 divided teams from Great Britain. They wanted a representative of the United Kingdom, so they basically made the rule that Great Britain had to send a team and not teams from the 4 individual countries. So we are a United Kingdom, but we're still very much 4 independent countries, and each country is very proud of their own national teams for football and for rugby and things like that. And it's good that we get together for the Olympics and we can perform as one united country.
Okay, thank you very much.
Topic 7. Countries united.
So, Shirley, we were talking about politics. How is the situation in your country?
Well, you know, I'm pretty much an on-the-fence kind of person, and politics is not my forte. It's not something I like to get into a conversation about. So I'll just change the subject if that's all right. I'd like to tell you a bit about the United Kingdom. You know, I'm from Scotland, and you know, where is Scotland? I get this question so often. Is that in Norway? And is it a region of England? So just to clarify, it's pretty complicated, but in the United Kingdom, the UK, we have Scotland, England, Wales and Northern Ireland. And then people know Great Britain.
Yes,
Okay.
so I do.
Great Britain is Scotland, England and Wales. To give the country its full title, it's the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That's the full title for the UK or Great Britain or GB, or England is just one country within 4 that are united. It sounds really complicated.
But it is the biggest one, right?
England is the biggest country with a population of 40 million. Scotland's about 5 million. Now, I correct myself. England is, I think, 49 million. Wales is about 2 million. Northern Ireland about 2 or 3 million. So in total, the whole of the United Kingdom is about 60 million population. How did that come about? Go back 300 years or more, even. England and Wales united over 300 years ago, and then Scotland was invited to join the union between England and Wales. Scotland agreed with actually many conditions. For example, one of the conditions was the money, the value of the pound. In Scotland we have Bank of Scotland pounds, and in England it's Bank of England pounds. It's all the same sterling currency of the UK, just it's very difficult in England to spend any money that's got Bank of Scotland written on it, even though it's all the same money. Anyway, that's another issue. So 300 years ago Scotland joined the union between England and Wales to become Great Britain. And then I think early in the 1800s, that's when Ireland joined. Of course, now it's just Northern Ireland, and there's other history related to that. We could go on all day talking about how it became Northern Ireland. So when people think of the UK, they generally think the UK is England, but it's actually 4 countries. So.
Topic 8. Island invasion.
In Australia, there's lots of snakes as well. Is there snakes in Guam?
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of snakes in Guam. One of which is very famous is the brown tree snake. Now, the brown tree snake was brought over to Guam a long time ago in cargo ships when it hid in the cargo, and the cargo was unloaded onto the docks of Guam. So when these brown tree snakes were accidentally released onto Guam soil, they subsequently destroyed most of Guam's bird population. Can you believe that?
Oh, that's amazing. So, yeah, introductions like that can cause disasters for wildlife.
Yeah, exactly. And because these brown tree snakes destroyed most of the bird life on Guam, we've lost a lot of beautiful tropical birds that used to live on Guam. Another thing that I can think of that was introduced to Guam but isn't a wild animal is a wild plant. And we call it a Japanese bonsai leaf, actually. And I believe bonsai means suicide or something in Japanese. But what these leaves do is that they grow and grow, and they look like vines. So they cover loads and loads of trees and good wildlife that are out there. Plant life. And they keep these plant life from growing because they essentially ambush them and keep sunlight from ever reaching them.
Oh, it's really interesting.
Yeah. So if you can imagine a building covered completely in really thick vine, that's how these Japanese bonsai leaves work. They completely shroud and cover all of the good plant life that we have on Guam. So we've lost a lot of good plant life, beautiful different types of leaves and bushes and flowers. Yeah. So in addition to losing all of our bird life, we've also lost a lot of this plant life to this introduction of a foreign plant species to Guam.
Topic 9. Island dangers.
Is there any natural disasters which happen?
Yeah, there's plenty of natural disasters. Guam is actually right on the coast of a reef formation called the Marianas Trench, and underneath in this trench is the lowest part of the world, the deepest part of the world.
Wow.
Yeah, so if we joke about it, we joke that Guam's highest mountain, Mount Lam Lam, is actually the highest mountain in the world if you count off from its base, which is in the Marianas Trench, the lowest part of the world.
Wow, that's amazing. So there must be good diving if you talk about barrier reefs.
Yeah, there's plenty of good diving. It's got really great diving like you would find in Hawaii or in the Great Barrier Reef. And many tourists from all over Asia come to Guam to scuba dive because there are great spots, and it's the closest U.S. soil they can get to.
Ah, I see. But in Australia, in the Great Barrier Reefs, there's lots of dangerous animals. Is that the case in Guam as well? Or?
Well, actually, that's funny you should ask. There has been a recent article about a guy in Guam, a very young guy who was scuba diving, and he got stung by a lionfish.
Huh.
But that is the extent of the dangerous animals of Guam. You'd have to go out into the deep sea to find more dangerous animals. But I think the most dangerous ones we have are quite small. Things like the lionfish, which I just mentioned. He just got stung, but it wasn't anything terrible. We do have reef sharks, but they are not great white sharks, so they're quite small. And smaller poisonous things like triggerfish, those you just have to be careful about whenever you're scuba diving. But other than that, there's not much dangerous in the sea.
Great.
Topic 10. The Big Mix.
Okay. So, Clayton, you're from Trinidad and Tobago, and you were saying that your country has a very diverse multicultural mix.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Oh, sure. Trinidad and Tobago mostly were made up of people from Africa, African descent, who came as slaves, and Indians who came from India mostly. I think we also may have some from parts of Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. But they came as indentured laborers closer to when slavery was being abolished. And these two groups actually make up the two largest ethnic groups in Trinidad. However, there's a lot of mixing. It's very difficult to find someone in Trinidad and Tobago who is extremely purely of one ethnic group, because everyone is sort of mixed. We have also a lot of whites or Caucasians who are native to Trinidad and Tobago, who speak exactly like me with my Caribbean accent, and many people find it very strange because they will walk around in Trinidad and think that they're tourists, but realize that they're actually native Trinidadians. And many also come from Europe to settle in Trinidad after retirement and have their families here. So this is how they came to stay here. We have a very large Chinese population, and it's growing because now the government is encouraging immigrants from China to come in to help us with our development to build our capital city. So we have a lot of Chinese. We have a lot of Colombians, Venezuelans, people coming from South and Central America, migrating to Trinidad because Spanish is now being promoted as a second language for Trinidad. So street signs in our capital city are in English and Spanish. So with all of this mixing of different people, it's very, as I said, very difficult to find one person who is of just one ethnic group. And it's reflected in our food, it's reflected in the kind of music we listen to, sometimes in the way we dress. For me, for example, I am mostly of African descent, but my dad is mixed with people from South American ethnicity and Chinese. So, as I said, although I am mostly African, everybody still has a little bit of something in them.
Topic 11. Winning.
Okay, Monica, we're going to debate winning and sports, especially for young people. So do you think that winning should be stressed with sports, with, let's say, high school athletes?
Well, it depends on the situation and what they're training for. But generally, I think that winning is overemphasized in sport. I think that participation is more important. Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Well, I think if you concentrate too much on winning, then the problem is if you don't win, you don't enjoy the sport. So the emphasis is shifted from enjoyment to basically results. So I think it can be quite damaging.
Right. Well, I kind of agree with what you're saying. And actually, I played high school sports, and I was never very good. And I always wish I participated more than I did. But I actually think that the focus on winning, in some ways, is quite important, and that it does serve a good purpose to have a focus on winning rather than on participation. I think the main reason is because when you focus on winning, that drives everybody to be better. So if you want to win, if you want to be on the team, etc., you have to force yourself to be better, and it's the carrot on the end of the stick, and it makes people train harder, work harder. It sets a goal for them, and it kind of prepares them for life. That sometimes you fail, and sometimes you don't get what you want, and so that's why sports and the whole focus on winning is good, because it's exactly how life is in the real world.
I would tend to argue the other way and say that actually sport doesn't reflect life in terms of winning and losing. I mean, let's take a work situation. It's not about winning or losing. It's about cooperating with people that you work with. And so if you have had an upbringing where you've been in a sports team that has been overly competitive, you could transfer that competitiveness into a workplace, and it can be counterproductive because it may mean that you're just not very good at being a team player in a work environment.
That's actually a really good point. But you could also argue that actually, even a work environment is like sport, and that you have teamwork and you have to work together, and if you don't work together in a very productive way, maybe you'll be out of a job or your company won't be productive. So you need to have that instinct to continually drive to be better than other people. And it sounds really brutal, but I think that's just how business works.
Well, you're talking about work being business, but I mean, I'm a teacher, and it brings me to quite an interesting discussion that's taking place now in teaching, which is two different kind of political views, really, in terms of teachers, because people want high standards in terms of their teachers, and one idea is to rate teachers in comparison to other teachers, and basically give the top teachers incentives so that they get paid more than teachers who aren't as good as them. But the counter argument to that is that it creates a really hostile environment in the workplace, and in a school where you really need teachers to work together. I'm not sure that that's the best way to go.
Yeah, well, that's another debate for another day.
Is that a cop-out or what?
Topic 12. Physical education.
So, Monica, you actually are a trained physical education teacher.
Yes, that's right.
So we often hear about how kids today are not fit and they don't exercise enough. Do you think that's true?
I think it is true, yes. I think kids these days spend a lot more time on the computer than they used to. So, of course, that means less time outside and getting fit.
Now, in some countries, there's a big debate about how much fitness kids actually do in school. So in your country, in New Zealand, do kids still do a lot of fitness actually in school?
Well, reasonably recently, the PE curriculum got amalgamated with the health curriculum. So PE and health were considered to be important in school. And the health side of the curriculum is often taught in the classroom, and of course the PE side is often taught outside the classroom. And there is always debate about how much kids should be doing inside school. In fact, very recently, now that it has become quite a big problem in New Zealand for teenagers, there has been talk about increasing the number of PE lessons that students have, but the current Prime Minister, I think, believes that the emphasis should be put on out-of-school activities like clubs and encouraging students to become more involved in that side of things.
What do you feel? Do you think that it should be?
I actually agree, to be honest, because I think if you increase the number of PE lessons that students have in a week, it doesn't actually necessarily increase their motivation to be involved in physical activity. But if, like he's suggesting, you increase the opportunities outside of school, students maybe become involved in a sport that they choose, that they like to do, and they hopefully can take it on as a lifetime sport, which is important.
But wouldn't the counter argument be that only kids that actually have a natural inclination to play sports will want to join those clubs, and that the kids that are more sedentary or don't enjoy physical activity won't join a club, and so you need to actually make them do fitness in school?
Yeah, that's true. That is a counter argument, and a very good one.
So I guess
to argue on some other occasion. Of course, I can talk about that side of the argument as well, if you want me to.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So basically, you say it's both sides make a good point.